begin today by acknowledging the contribution of our forefathers who have helped in creating a world based on freedom and human dignity. I extend my respect to people of diverse cultures, faith, colors, and genders, and pledge to work for equity, inclusivity, peace, and harmony. A very good evening to the dignitaries, guests, professors, researchers, media professionals, faculty members, scholars, and students who are in Studio 62, and all those who have connected us on Zoom and on Facebook Live. I, Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari, Associate Professor, DME Media School, and Associate Convener, ICAN5, welcome you all to the valedictory ceremony of the 5th edition of World's first 7-day hybrid international media conference, ICAN5. ICAN5 is the only conference in the world that is organized by educational institutes of 2 continents, DME Media School, Delhi Metropolitan Education, India, and School of Communication and Creative Arts, Deakin University, Melbourne, Australia. I would like to take a moment and introduce Delhi Metropolitan Education to our audience. Delhi Metropolitan Education is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi, and approved by Bar Council of India. DME Media School is one of the most promising media institutes in the country. It offers BA in journalism and mass communication. It is recognized as a school focused on the growth of its faculty and students through academic and co-curricular activities. The flagship events and initiatives of the school include BG Varghese Lecture Series, Peer-to-Peer FDP, International Film Festival SIFI, Vritika Convention of Media Students, Viz Vibrant India Series, and International Conference ICAN. Today, we all are here to celebrate the culmination of the 5th edition of ICAN, Inclusivity, Convergence, and Alternate Negotiations. ICAN5 was successfully organized with the support of 18 partners, including International Association for Media and Communication Research, Gender and Communication Section, commonly known as IMCR Gen Section, GMEC, Global Media Education Council as conference partners. Our knowledge partners are Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism, Bhopal, Vigyan Prasar, Government of India, KSF Keshav Suri Foundation. Our international partners are Institute for International Journalism, Ohio University, USA, Green University, Bangladesh, Daffodil International University, Bangladesh. Cultural partners, Beacon House National University, Pakistan. Media partners are Amar Ujala, Policy Times, Jai Hind Times, and the Hindi Post. ICAN5 is powered by Asian Media and Cultural Studies Network Australia, Australia India Film Practitioners and Researchers Network Australia, SPARK, the Student Council of DME Media School, RIM, Research Cell for Media School. The conference was supported by NOTO, National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. These 7 days were full of deliberations and discourse on varied topics ranging from media, communication, research, OTT, fake news, paid news, social media, research trends, and many more. In total, 26 sessions, and in case you have missed something, then all our sessions recordings are available on DME TV, official YouTube channel of DME. Let us all begin the valedictory ceremony of ICAN5 with the blessings of Almighty God. Presenting Ganesh Vandana by Vinayak Mishra, final year student of DME Media School.
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन, गाइए गणपति जगवंदन, शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन, शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन, गाइए गणपति जगवंदन। सीधी सदन गज साधप गपध सपध सा, सीधी सदन गज वदन विनायक, कृपा सिंधु सुंदर सबदायक, गाइए गणपति जगवंदन। गाइए गणपति जगवंदन मोदक प्रिय मोद मंगल दाता मोदक प्रिय मोद पद सारे गा सारे धसा मोदक प्रिय मोद मंगल दाता विद्यावारिधि बुद्धि विधाता गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए गणपति गाइए गणपति गाइए गणपति जगवंदन.
Thank you. Now I invite Professor Sushmita Bala, Associate Chief Convener of ICAN5, who initiated the series of ICAN and DME Media School. She is an accomplished teacher and trainer equipped with rich experience in media industry and academics. For more than 3 decades, she has been teaching and doing research. She has presented more than 30 papers in national, international seminars, conferences in Australia, in United States, Dubai, Spain, and France. I request ma'am to address the gathering, welcome the guests, and deliver the opening address.
Thank you, Dr. Manasvi. Very good evening to all present here. Namaskar, Adab, Ami Apnader Swagatam Karoti. I welcome Mr. Amar Sahni, Justice Bhamar Singh, Dr. Ravi Kant Swami, and all our guests, partners, and scholars who have connected from Bangladesh, Pakistan, USA, Australia, India, and other countries. It is a moment of pride for all of us at DME that we are able to successfully complete 5 editions of ICAN International Media Conference. We started this journey in 2018 with ICAN 1, India and Changing Aspects of News, followed by ICAN 2 on Indian cinema and alternate networks. ICAN 3 on issues of community, agenda, and news. ICAN 4 on information, communication, and artificial networks. The first 2 editions of ICAN took place in physical mode on DME campus and India International Center, New Delhi. Both ICAN 3 and 4 took place in the online mode in view of the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Imposition of national and state level lockdowns, restrictions on international flights, and ban on most of the activities during 2020 and 2021. Both the 3rd and 4th editions of conference turned out to be the world's first 10-day digital live international conference. And today, we conclude ICAN 5, world's first 7-day hybrid international media conference. For DME Media School, the objective of a conference is to create storehouse of knowledge for the use of media educators, trainers, researchers, and the students. In a period of 4 years, DME Media School has succeeded in the publication of 426 content-rich papers in 20 books. Thus, Delhi Metropolitan Education has contributed towards creating a storehouse of precious knowledge on subjects of journalism, mass communication, and mass media. I would also like to welcome and extend gratitude to international resource persons and scholars who joined us from various universities, to name a few: University of Miami, USA, Daffodil International University, Bangladesh, Green University, Bangladesh, Beacon House National University, Pakistan, Ohio University, USA, Seton Hall University, USA, Fatima Jinnah Women University, Rawalpindi, Pakistan, Royal Thimphu College, Bhutan, University of Memphis, USA, Ilma University, Karachi, Pakistan, Al Falah University, Dubai, Obafemi Olowo University, Nigeria, IBN TOEFL University, Morocco, Raman University of China. So thank you for your association with us and making my ICAN5 a truly international conference. I once again welcome all of you to this valedictory session. Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. ICAN5 hosted a total of 26 sessions, including 18 live sessions, 5 hybrid sessions, 3 sessions in physical space. There were 10 technical sessions and 5 panel discussions, 3 workshops, 2 masterclasses, 2 plenary discussion sessions. Proud to mention here that all 10 technical sessions were being chaired by women scholars representing different states and countries. To present a detailed report on ICAN5, I invite the anchor of our ship, convener of ICAN5, Dr. Amrish Saxena, an internationally acclaimed media professional, researcher, author, anchor, political analyst, and film enthusiast. He is Dean of DME Media School, Director IQAC, Director International Relations DME. Sir, I would like to request that you should present the ICAN5 report here. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, in the valedictory function of ICAN5. Today, all the activities that we have been doing for the last 1 week are culminating in this valedictory function. And as it has already been told to you all, that within 5 years, we have traveled along. And every year, whenever we are organizing this international media conference, we are trying to add something new. So this year, the most important thing that we did, that we reached out to 2 countries of the Indian subcontinent, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and universities from both the countries joined hands with us. There were many scholars who were there, part of various activities in different sessions. And in many sessions, the filmmakers and the students from Bangladesh and Pakistan, they also joined the sessions. So to give an overview of this whole thing, we had different sessions like plenary sessions, panel discussions, workshops, master classes. So to further give you details, firstly, the panel discussions. There were 5 panel discussions in all. The first panel discussion was on understanding the rainbow. This session was brought to us by Keshav Suri Foundation. This is a foundation which is working in the sector of LGBTQ+. And the panelists in this session were mainly from the community. The session was moderated by Akshay Tyagi, who is one of the senior executives in Keshav Suri Foundation. And there were community representation in this session, which included Mohul Sharma, Saurabh Gupta, and Nandini Kadam. The second panel discussion was on achieving gender balance in media today, myth or reality. This show was moderated by Professor Maithili Ganju, who is Dean in Manav Rachana International University, and she brought this session for us. And there were many eminent scholars part of this panel, which included Professor Geeta Bamzai, who has retired from Indian Institute of Mass Communication. She was heading the research department there. And thereafter also, she has been handling many national, international research projects. Then we also had in this session, Professor Padma Rani, who is Dean of the Media Department in Manipal University, Karnataka. And she is also a very seasoned media person turned media academic. And then we also had in this session Dr. Kulveen Trehan, who belongs to the University School of Mass Communication in IP University. And the 4th panelist in this session was Dr. Mosmi Bhattacharya. This was also a very lively session, and various aspects of gender in the current media, these were discussed. Another session, another panel discussion was that's panel discussion 3 was on DEI in the PR industry. DEI is a very forthcoming concept, very debated concept, which is about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this was one session which was brought to us by Catherine Lancioni. Catherine Lancioni has been associated with the DME for the last many years, and she has been part of many endeavors, be it the Women's Day program or any other kind academic activity. So she was instrumental in bringing this. She is a very senior PR professional, and she has been teaching in the US universities on public relations. And this again was a very rich panel. The people who represented in this panel included Pavla Chesirati, who was from Italy. Then we had Laila Kamal, who was from Egypt. Incidentally, she is a minister in the Egyptian government. And then we had with us Ramya Chandrasekharan, who is based in Singapore. She is also a very senior PR professional. And then we had Dr. Pooja Arora with us, who is a very senior PR person in New Delhi, and she is also associated with the DME Media School, taking sessions with our students only. So then the fourth panel discussion was on journalism and media education in the United States. This was an offbeat session in the sense this was apparently not on the core subject of exclusivity, but then it gave an idea as to if the students are going abroad, particularly United States, for further studies, then what kind of preparations they need to do, and also they need to understand the cultural differences between the two countries, the issues which are normally faced by Indian students in the United States. So which is in a way indicating a lot of such things which tells us that how much diversity is important. Understanding diversity is important because when the Indian students are going there, there are all kind of differences, right from culture to language to lifestyle and everything. But then how you can live in diversity, and how there are countries like US and many European countries which are very warm to the people who have who come from different countries and who have diverse backgrounds. The fifth panel discussion was on construction of gender narrative on the OTT. So these are the days of OTT, particularly since the time this COVID-19 has struck 2022 and 2021. We all have switched over to OTT. Earlier also, many of us were watching OTT programs and the web series, but during these 2 years, we were left mostly with no option when we were confined to our homes due to the lockdowns. So OTT was giving relief in the form of presenting many films and the web series. So this was a session which was moderated by Dr. Munisa Kadri. She was instrumental in curating this panel discussion for us. She is a senior media educator in the Central University of Kashmir. And the panelists in this session included Dr. Surhita Basu, who is a media educator in Vishwabharati University, West Bengal. And then other very senior media educator was there in this panel, Professor Sabiha Mufti, who has been teaching in MCRC, Jamia Millia Islamia, which is one of the oldest department of mass communication in the country. At the moment, she is teaching in the University of Kashmir. And then other panelists included Dr. Sunayan Bhattacharjee. Sunayan has been very regular in ICAN, and every year he is presenting a paper, and every year he is getting the best paper presentation award. So this is really interesting. He is an authority on film studies, and he is teaching in Adamas University, West Bengal. Now, these were the 5 panel discussions. Now, talking about the master classes and the workshops. The first master class was on inclusivity in South Asian media, cases from India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. This session was brought to us by Professor Ujjwal Chaudhary. And Professor Ujjwal Chaudhary is a known name to everybody in DME Media School because he has been associated with DME since long. And if I can tell you an interesting fact, that the first time when Professor Chaudhary came to DME, it was the time when Supreme Court had struck down Article 377, so that paved the way for opening a space for the people coming from the community of LGBTQ plus. And he had a very remarkable lecture, very impressive lecture in Nelson Mandela Auditorium in DME. Since then, he has been part of almost all activities happening in DME Media School, whether it's SIFI or International Film Festival or ICAN or any other activity. He's always there, offline, online, whichever mode it is possible. So he had this session, and this in a way laid the foundation of ICAN5, because the theme of ICAN5 is inclusivity, convergence, and alternative negotiations. So he took references from Bangladesh and Pakistan. And as I told you initially, that this year the focus, our focus was on the Indian subcontinent. So the references were there for from all the 3 countries, and also from Nepal, because he has been working in Nepal. So we could get to know the perspective of 4 countries in this master class. Another master class was on indigenous peoples communication. Now, this is an area which is very upcoming, which is a very new area. In India, we had been studying to some extent what we call the tribal communication, or the communication of the people who are left out in the mainstream of development. But in the Western world, a lot of work is being done on the communication of indigenous people. And what does it mean actually? If you look at the composition of the United States or of Australia, these are the countries which are normally which are seen inhabited by white people, but they are not the original people of those areas. In the case of Australia, there are people who we call as aborigines, who were the actual natives of that place, and they were killed, there were genocides, they were thrown out, their land was captured by white people coming from the West. And almost the same story is the United States. As the world has grown, there is a growing understanding on this, that whatever was done in the history was a wrong thing that should not have happened. So to accept that thing, that it should not have happened. So as a matter of acceptance, these countries are taking a lot of steps for the preservation of the culture and the cultural heritage of the natives of that place. So in the US also, a lot of research work is being done on the indigenous people. Indigenous people, again, the people who have been living in the United States, and the land belonged to those people. So things about their culture, about their heritage, about their language, on these things, a lot of researches are being done. So this session was taken by a very eminent expert in the field of media education internationally. She is Dr. Jyotika Ramaprasad. She talked about depending based on whatever researches she has done on indigenous people's communication. And I must also tell this that she has got associated Professor Jyotika with DME, and she is coming to Delhi, and she is coming to DME in September to take a workshop, a research workshop here, not only with the teachers but with the students as well. And she is handling an international research project regarding journalism, the problems which were faced in journalism during the COVID-19 period, wherein our students of DME Media School will be involved in a big way. Regarding the workshop, the first workshop was on social media current research trends. This was taken by Professor Aftab Hussain. Aftab Hussain is head of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in Daffodil International University, Dhaka. This is not only the largest university, biggest university of Dhaka, of Bangladesh, but in the whole of the South Asia, this is considered one of the top universities. So he took this session for us. Another workshop was completely an offbeat, a very unique thing. We had this workshop wherein two documentaries, one made by a filmmaker from Pakistan and one made by a filmmaker in India. Those two documentaries films were shown, and the subject of both the documentaries was girls education. So originally the idea was to have a session on the process of the documentary filmmaking, but it expanded a lot. The subject also became important because it was all girls education, and girls education is one such area wherein a lot of work is still to be done in India as well as in Pakistan. Girls education, and if we talk about that wherein each and every girl gets education, that seems is still a remote dream. And as we all believe, and all the panelists were also of the opinion, that unless we are able to ensure education to each and every girl, development will never be possible. So a lot of aspects of girls education were talked about. The whole concept of bringing this session to ICAN5 was brought by Dr. Wajia Raza Rizvi, who is associate professor and a senior media educator and researcher internationally, and who is there in Beacon House, National University, Lahore. And Professor Wajia is also the co-chair of the gender section, gender and communication section of International Association of Media and Communication Research, which is considered the biggest body internationally of media educators and researchers. One filmmaker also joined in this session, that is Miss Nasira Habib, who again has worked a lot in the field of girls education in Pakistan. From the Indian side, two eminent persons joined this session. One, Dr. Gauri Chakravarti, who teaches film studies in Bennett University, and then a very renowned documentary filmmaker, Miss Aradhana Kapoor Kohli. So this was again a very lively session, and many of the students would have attended this because this was a session in the hybrid mode. The students were there in this studio and they had also joined online. Another workshop was taken by Professor Vikrant Kishore. This workshop was on capturing culture online from podcast to vodcast. Now, let me tell you about Dr. Vikrant Kishore. Vikrant Kishore is one such person who has been associated since the beginning of ICAN, and not only ICAN, he is very deeply associated in another flagship program of DME Media School, which is Cineast International Film Festival. And it is because of him that Deakin University, because he has been teaching in Deakin University, Melbourne, and it is because of him that we have been having such a long association with the Deakin University, Australia. Then there was a plenary session. We had two plenary sessions. Earlier, also in the first and the second session, we had some plenary session, but the whole objective was that there has to be created an open house wherein any theme, any topic that would have been chosen for that session is talked about. The resource person is not lecturing, simply interacting with the students so that more and more input can come out in that session. So one important plenary session happened in the physical space in this studio only, it's Studio 62. This was on embracing diversity and inclusion in educational campuses. And this was moderated by Akshay Tyagi, who is a senior executive in the NGO Keshav Suri Foundation. And the other person who joined this session was Zain Khan. So this session was important in the sense because we could know all such aspect about LGBT community, which is, I mean, we all have to admit, we have a very little understanding on. So the primary thing is that we have to understand first, and then we will be able to appreciate, and then we will be ready to create such kind of campuses, such kind of educational institutions, wherein we can ensure parity and there can be no discrimination based on gender. Rather, the theme was of this conference was inclusivity for this reason, that because we all believe in non-discrimination, no discrimination should be there, whichever basis we talk about. So this whole endeavor is to have a better understanding on these issues and to create that kind of atmosphere wherein each one of us has equal opportunity to grow. And as we are in talks with Keshav Suri Foundation, we will be working in this area further. I mean, no, this whole effort is not confined to organizing one or two sessions as part of ICAN conference, but in future also, we will be taking some more concrete steps for inclusion of LGBTQ community in our educational institution. Another plenary session that was there was on creating awareness on organ donation. So we all would have heard of this organ donation, but again, we have little understanding as to what this whole thing is about. Government of India is doing a lot of efforts in this direction, and a department has been created, which is called NOTO. This is a national organization for organ and tissue transplantation. So they are also organizing a lot of such activities wherein the awareness can be created. So that is how we come across with this organization. We approach them to have this session because again, coming to the theme of the conference, if we talk about inclusivity, this means there has to be a society wherein if somebody is in need of an organ and somebody's life can be saved if somebody else's is donating that organ, then nothing can be better than this. And there is a long gap between the figures, as the resource person last evening explained, that the demand of organs right from kidney to heart, the demand of kidney is in huge demand. It's lakhs in lakhs, and there are only few thousand donors available. So there is a need of creating more awareness, and with them also we are in talks, and we will be having some sessions on a continuous basis wherein the students can be encouraged to take this social cause and everybody takes a pledge for organ donation. So this was about all the sessions that we wanted to tell you about, and other things have already been told. I mean, on certain fronts, like the endeavor that we make to bring all three countries of the subcontinent together, this also we will continue in one way or the other, because the culture, the language, I mean, all these things somewhere connects the people. And since we are the people, we are the same people who are politically in different spaces, but then our issues are different. Our issues are common. So we need to handle those issues, whether it comes to the issue of the girls' education, whether it comes to women empowerment or women emancipation, or any such social issues. So I feel that we need to work together to address these kind of issues. So that was all about this ICAN5. Lot more is in the store. I have many more ideas for ICAN6. So we'll introduce those ideas at the right moment, at the appropriate time. But certainly we will take another step further towards ICAN by bringing some more ideas, some more thought, some more endeavor into that. Thank you.
I would like to take the program forward with introducing our next guest, Dr. Vikrant Kishore. We are happy to get associated with Dr. Vikrant Kishore, filmmaker, academic, and journalist. He has been instrumental in our collaboration with Deakin University, Melbourne. He has authored and edited books on Indian cinema, celebrity culture, intangible cultural heritage. He has worked with media channels such as Z News, ABC, SBS, Channel 7. He has organized international conferences, film festivals, and seminars on Indian cinema, and has been a jury member in various film festivals. So over to you, Vikrant sir.
Before I start, I would like to recognize the various traditional lands where we are located here in Australia and acknowledge the elders past, present, and emerging. I acknowledge and pay our respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I also acknowledge and pay my respect to the struggles and rights of Dalits, Adivasis, and marginalized of India. It was really great to hear the report put forth by Professor Amrish Saxena. I congratulate the students and staff members of DME for organizing this conference. I'm certainly, this has been, in a way, really great kind of an opportunity for students, and I'm certainly looking forward to see some international publication outcome coming from this, which I do think this should be the goal of a conference with such a huge involvement and effort from academics and students across the globe. I would like to thank the management of DME, Mr. Aman Sani, Justice Bhavan Singh, Professor Ravikant Swami, Dr. Sushmita Bala, for continuously supporting and organizing conferences and film festivals. These kind of international events set the benchmark of an institute, showcasing what they can deliver, and most importantly, how their students are exposed to the current media issues, debates, and discussions, and engaged with world-class academics and industry experts. Most significantly, this kind of conference should provide the students an opportunity to present and publish their work, which I'm sure many would have benefited from this. So this has been an amazing kind of a journey for not only for ICAN, but for my own association with ICAN, seeing such tremendous work and effort which has gone through. And one of the things which I mentioned in the last ICAN edition, we need to seriously look to integrate practice-based research in the conference. We must try and work on an online practice-based journal, and that is a kind of a proposal which I would like to put through, so that many aspiring practice-based researchers can find an avenue to publish. There are very few in India, so that's why I'm trying to get DME activated in this space. And I'm more than happy to co-lead this space in future and call upon other academics, whoever are present here, to collaborate on this practice-based journal. And maybe we can get DME to host this new journal or support this through a network of education institutes. So that is one thing which we should do, as to what happens after the conference and how do we prepare ourselves for the next one. And probably next one should have practice-based research and and since we have gone hybrid, it becomes much more easier for us to present things from anywhere in the world. So I won't take much of your time, and I can see the studio is back. So thanks once again to all the staff and students of DME. And finally, I thank Professor Amrish Saxena for his continuous effort to make ICAN a truly international experience. This has been an amazing collaboration that has been going on with Deakin University. We have been really proud of what DME has achieved, and to see how much invested the staff and students are in at DME to take this forward, not only once in a year, but twice in two different ways. One is the conference and another is the film festival. So we'll meet soon for the SIFI 2022. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vikrant sir. It was not possible without your support and continuous motivation. Now, I would like to inform everyone here that all the reports of the sessions, which Professor Saxena just told you, will be available in our newsletter. Journalism at DME is the official newsletter of DME Media School. It will cover all the reports of the sessions. It is an interactive publication. This is a fortnightly publication, and you will be able to see all the videos on DME TV and read reports and pictures in Journalism at DME newsletter. DME has a strong visionary leadership team who has been continuously supporting us in all our endeavors. I invite Dr. Ravikant Swami, Director DME and Advisor ICAN5 to address the gathering. Sir has over 25 years of experience and taught at Banasali Vidyapeeth, Om Kothari Institute of Management, Maharshi Arvind Institute of Science and Management, Hindu Institute of Management, Arni University. He served as a professor and dean at Arni School of Business Management and as registrar of Arni University. Sir has always been there to provide unconditional support to media school. Over to you, sir.
So it's a very nostalgic feeling that we are completing the 5th edition of ICAN today. I was there in most of the sessions, and yes, they were very fruitful, and the participation was across the countries and across, say, students, teachers, practitioners, and then the collaborations, especially from Vikrantji, from Deccan, has been a consistent support. So I wish my very best for the 6th edition of ICAN in 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel delighted to extend heartiest welcome to our Director General, Sir Honorable Justice Bhavar Singh Ji. He is a visionary, administrator, writer, educator, and speaker with high intellect. He has served judicial services as judicial magistrate and additional district and session judge in UP Higher Judicial Service cadre. He provides a strong foundation to DME, and he is the chief advisor of ICAN5. Over to you, sir.
Mr. Aman Sahani, the vice chairman of the Sunshine and Educational Society, running many institutions besides Delhi Metropolitan Education. The director, Ravikant Ji, Mr. Vikrant Kishore, our distinguished guest, Mr. Amrish Saxena, Dean, Faculty of Media, his teammates, the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted on the out and out success of ICAN5 organized by DME Media School. Mr. Amrish Saxena, Madam Saxena, and all their team members deserve rich compliments for their having taken all the pains to make this event a great success. Also happy to learn that scholarly media persons in huge number, including a minister holding the concerned charge, attended this conference. As stated by Mr. Amrish Saxena, some 16 institutions of our own country and about 14 institutions of other countries of the world had contributed their papers to this conference. I was more happy to learn about some eventful sessions like Kanya Pathshala, documentary film, higher education among the females, question answer sessions, the sessions about organ donation, and LGBT community interactions. That cult of LGBT is based on fundamental right to live and liberty, to live with liberty. Friends, there were many topics for discussions in this conference, and one of them attracted my attention, besides many others, but I would like to mention about the protest for social justice. The first such protest for ensuring the social justice was organized some 2,700 years ago in Rome, when the Rome Empire had very, in a dictatorial mood and manner, suppressed the labor class, the working class, called plebs. In order to protest that draconian system of the Roman Empire, all the working class members started abandoning the cities and moved towards jungles and villages. That migration from the cities gave a very serious impact upon the hierarchy of the Roman Empire, and even the king was forced to restore the rights, particularly the human rights of the working class. Major social reforms followed. The debts of the public were forgiven, and publication of laws were made. Another such protest was in the year 1989 in China, where 15 lakhs of students took part in the protest. These students were demanding their civil rights, and the protest in a manner were against the communist regime. Friends, Arab Spring is also one of such protests which had affected 18 countries of the African continent, and particularly the Libya, Egypt, Yemen, where the dictatorship was replaced by democratic leaders. Friends, Anna Hazare movement is very fresh in our memory, when he was joined by 15 lakhs of people protesting against the corruption prevalent in our country. That corruption was a legacy upon us left by the Britishers. And sometimes these kinds of protests for social justice may not be enough to achieve the aims for which they have been organized, but the role of media highlight them. The journalists take very active part and enliven the topics, the subjects, and they make aware the public of their rights. Friends, Iraq war protest in America, though could not ensure any result, and the war was started by the Bush administration, but it shows that the media had to perform its role irrespective of the result may or may not be reached at. Friends, Satyagraha, that is Dandi March of our great leader Mahatma Gandhi, is also very widely known. When during the freedom struggle in India, Mahatma Gandhi ji organized this Dandi March and lakhs of people joined him, though he was sent to jail. But his protests were 100% successful, and they forced the Britishers, the regime of Great Britain, to think over quitting India. Friends, there have been many such protests. What I would like to emphasize upon is that the journalists, the media, the mass communication, they shoulder their great responsibility to highlight the problems prevailing in the society, and also they suggest the solutions. Therefore, friends, with these recollections of mine, I am very much happy with the success of this event of ICAN5. And once more, I would congratulate Mr. Saxena, Mrs. Saxena, and their team members for this complete success of the event. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out, giving us blessings and best wishes. We have amongst us Dr. Sheikh Mohammed Shafiul Islam, Chairperson, Department of Journalism and Media Communication, Green University of Bangladesh. He's the Vice President of Global Media Education Council, President, GMEC Bangladesh Chapter. Dr. Shafiul is a senior media academic and researcher who has been teaching journalism, communication, and media studies at the graduate and postgraduate level since last 18 years. He's intensively engaged in research, training, and advocacy in the field of media, communication, socioeconomic development. Sir, we are eager to hear from you.
So since we have some time limitations, I'm not addressing all the dignitaries here on the screen. I can see. Just I would like to congratulate Amy and also his partners, especially Deakin University, Australia, and the international partners, organizers of India and South Asia, and also some other countries across the globe. And I would also like to congratulate the team, especially led by our very much respected Professor Dr. Ramnesh Saxena, and also the DME schools, DME media schools experts, and also the organizers who have taken the pain of organizing such a very big platform, such a very big dissemination international conference. And I think that all the objectives and aim of this great event has fulfilled rightly, especially in the forms of inclusivity, innovations, convergence from different perspectives, diversities. But we are also working, especially in the newer innovations, technological innovations, transformations in the areas of various areas of human communication, especially generated by very new technologies in digital forms, and also social media and many others. But at the same time, we have to also remember that as the technologies is approaching to us as a blessing, we are also being somewhat where we are also lagging behind in terms of some sorts of our indigenous knowledge like journalism, different branches of journalism. In our next ICAN editions, we would like to request to add more and more sessions on how we can also improve the qualities of journalism, especially investigative and interpretive journalism, and also journalism for the new media, journalism for the newer platforms more and more actively, so that the journalism can be used and utilized for the greater welfare of the humankind. We can see that even for some wanton decisions of some of the power elites across the globe, journalism has become very much challenging. And we are facing, especially our journalists are facing globally certain barriers. Even it is a matter of reality that many journalists are now facing self-censorship, what to publish, what to say, or what to not. Actually, we are also undergoing a very transition since journalism is passing a very hard time. At the same time, I have also discussed that some platforms of communication, some opportunities in human communication have increased. And we think that in the coming days, we also be able to enter and innovate more and more communication facilities, resources, so like public relations, corporate communication, digital marketing. These are the issues and branches of human communication. But at the same time, we have to be also equally very much careful about the expansion of journalism so that the people's voice globally can be heard equally. So I would like to again thank you, the organizers, especially DME and its experts, teachers, and students, and also the partner organizations to organize such a very much auspicious program to get together of the people, of the great minds who think alike for the betterment of the media, communication, and also the professionals. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Your points are well taken. With the permission of all dignitaries, I would like to unveil the souvenir of ICAN5. The e-copy of the souvenir will be shared with all the attendees, participants, and guests post-event. I request technical team to play the short video and release the souvenir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We are honored to have amongst us a special guest who has given her time, resources to us in all possible ways. Dr. Wajiha Raza Rizvi, co-chair of Gender Communication Section of International Association of Media and Communication Research, Associate Professor of Beacon House National University, Dr. Rizvi, as an internationally acclaimed researcher and documentary filmmaker. Ma'am, we want to know your experience with ICAN5.
I would say that it was a great experience to work with digital media education, Delhi, and it was great in the sense that we started working with DME first time at the time of International Women's Day in March. And since then, I think this was our second collaboration, and every time I would say that the scale of collaboration was increasing. I personally think that DME faculty, DME staff, and DME students and DME on the whole has done great with all these ICAN5 conferences. IMCR, I as chair of IMCR, would like to say that our experience with DME was great, because I think DME offered a platform to academics from across the world. It was great to see that DME had collaborated with 17 universities, and not only in terms of academic presentations, but also it developed cultural connections with everyone. And DME especially planned a number of technical sessions. I think it was one of the biggest conferences with so many different options that it has come across, and it has offered platform to so many academics, and also I would say at a regional level, DME has done tremendously well. It was great to see that it was bringing together countries that were part of a country in the past, and it was great to see that students, media students in particular, can talk about all these things and bring to discussion all those issues that have not been discussed, and we can work on theories, we can work on mutual problems and mutual issues. And I personally think that as gender and communication section, it was great to see DME's great interest in women's participation, inclusiveness, etc., and inclusiveness of gender. So I basically congratulate DME for ICAN5, and I really appreciate that in these 5 years, it has brought it to the highest levels. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for all your support and help. We're happy to have with us Dr. Shahid Rasool, Professor and Dean, School of Media Studies, Director, Tulmula Campus, Central University of Kashmir, India. Sir has served as the Director, SEMCA, and a UN diplomatic mission in New Delhi for 8 Commonwealth Asian countries. Sir has also been the State Coordinator, Fundamental Rights and Awareness Cell for the UTs and J&K and Ladakh. He has also served as member on UGC Committee for Sanction and Establishment of New Media Centers in India. So his mission is to light candles of knowledge everywhere. And we are also looking forward to hear from you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be part of the ICAN. In fact, I must thank Professor Amrish Saxena ji, as well as Professor Susmita Bala, because they made an exciting team to provide an opportunity and a platform to young and old across the countries and the continents to come together on a platform. In fact, I had the opportunity of being part of the ICAN 3rd, ICAN 4th, and now this ICAN 5th. My apologies for missing the the inaugural function because of some other commitments that I had during that particular time. Though I wanted to be part of it, but I could not make it. But it's always a pleasure to see, the vibrancy that is created by this ICAN programs that are being conducted by Delhi Metropolitan Education and the Deccan University together. And one can only appreciate and, admire and sometimes envy also the efforts that are being put by Professor Amrish Saxena and Smita Balaji and others at the Deccan University, as well as the Delhi Metropolitan Education in organizing such programs. I was looking through the programs that have been conducted, and I could see that 17 universities, 15 countries, and 18 partners. I mean, it's a huge job. It's not only getting these partners at one place. It's basically creating an ambience in all these places. When you reach 15 countries, you reach 17 universities, you have 18 partners. So this always has an exponential, spread, that the message that is being discussed, that is being debated, that is being seen through the ICAN5 reaches to different places, and it gives a platform and it creates an ambience, for such activities. So far as ICAN5 is concerned, I mean, the theme could not have been much better, because there are the issues of what we call the inclusivity. There is a proliferation of the gadgets. There is convergence of technologies that is taking place, and there is a requirement of the alternative negotiations. Having said that, when we think about the digital platform or the digital communication platforms and the digital spread and the landscape that is there, as Thomas Friedman rightly says, we are living in the age of acceleration. In this age of acceleration, everybody has a gadget in his hand. There is a growing number of the citizen journalists. Everybody has become a photographer and a videographer. And this digital landscape provides us an excellent opportunity for inclusivity, which is more than required. But what we see across is the great challenge is how this convergence can be used for the betterment of the humankind. How this can be, used for creating a human and a just society. It is always a pleasure, listening to Justice Bamar Singh ji, and he took up the important, issue of justice protesters that have taken place over a period of time. I think the time has come, we, the media educators, have to try to create an atmosphere and an ambience and a sensitivity among our students and scholars, how important it is for us to remain relevant so that we create a very just and human society. We have challenges from the artificial intelligence. We have challenges from the digital divide that is taking place. We have challenges from, in fact, from the convergence which could have been used better for the inclusivity, but unfortunately it's falling in the hands of the wrong people. The digital technology that's available right now could be better used for the greater human good, rather than it is being used to divide the people across, the religions and the races and the colors and the countries and the regions. So we as media persons, we have a responsibility to create, such an ambience and such an atmosphere in our institutions, as well as, on the platforms that exist and that are there, and that are being created by people like, Delhi Metropolitan Education, in the form of these ICAN conferences that are being organized every year. In fact, during the COVID time also, they had these conferences going on, which give us a platform to talk about these very serious issues. There is definitely a need for the alternative negotiations in terms of involving the media persons and the academics and even the social reformers, so that we are able to create a just and a human society. I am happy, that lots of workshops have taken place. There were plenary sessions, there were master classes, and there were panel discussions and technical sessions, and over 125, papers have been presented during this conference, which has given a chance to young and budding, scholars also to present their viewpoint. I can congratulate and I thank DME for giving me an opportunity to be part of this. I missed some of it, but I'm sure that this conference proceedings will be published and they will be circulated among all the participants, so that we can benefit from that. And Delhi Metropolitan Education and ICAN University and many other partners, including the Global Media Education Council, of which I am also a member and Amrish is also a member, that we together can come together in a bigger and better way, so that this ICAN5 will become a greater platform for us in ICAN6 as and when it happens. And I must appreciate Delhi Metropolitan Education and their management for constantly supporting the media education at their institution, and helping them and guiding them and encouraging them to organize such conferences. This definitely will create a buzz, and this definitely will create an atmosphere where we will see there will be greater inclusivity, and there will be definitely space for the negotiations, and this world will become a better place. Before I conclude, I want to highlight one serious issue that is confronting the media today. The media is considered the fourth important pillar of democracy. But unfortunately, for some reason, we are going to lose this epithet of the fourth, pillar of the democracy. Unless and until we, the media educators, strive for it and sensitize our students and scholars how important it is for them to be impartial and be devoid of the biases that are in our minds, we cannot create a just and a democratic society. So with those few words, I congratulate the organizers and once again thank Amrish ji and Sushmita ji and the Delhi Metropolitan Education for organizing this conference and allowing me also to be part of this in the valedictory section. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for raising our spirits. First of all, I would like to share with you all, before we move to the next segment, that in ICAN, we follow a well-defined peer review process for selecting the papers. Abstracts are submitted by scholars. They are reviewed by peer review committee consisting of internal and external experts. This time we had internal experts and external experts, international external experts. Some of the experts' names which I would like to mention here, they could not join because of their prior commitment, but I would like to introduce you to our expert committee. Dr. Pavitra Srivastava, Professor and Head Department of Advertising and PR, Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism, Communication, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Dr. Hassan Mustafa, Dean of College of Mass Communication, Program Coordinator for Bachelors of Mass Communication in New Media, Al Falah University, Dubai, UAE. Dr. Mustafa specializes in digital media. He has combined academic and professional work experience in the field of media and communication. Dr. Nibushi Nana, lecturer at Department of Theatre and Film Studies, University of Nigeria. And he has been reviewing our papers, giving us the feedback along with the internal committee members. So that was the process by which we selected these papers. And finally, like sir said, these papers will be published in book, and we will be releasing the proceedings which we released in the inaugural with ISBN number, which will be available for all the authors. So we move to the next segment where I would like you to meet our technical session chairs. And for that, I request technical team to first play the video.
ICAN, the International Media Conference, which is organized by DME Media School every year. And the 5th edition of ICAN conference is scheduled from 1st of July to 7th of July in 2022. And the theme for this year is inclusivity, convergence, and alternative negotiations. There are so many distinct features of ICAN conference this year, and one important aspect is that all the technical sessions, all 10 technical sessions are being chaired by women scholars. Out of this number, 5 scholars are from India and 5 scholars are from other countries, which include 2 from USA, 2 from Pakistan, and 1 from Bhutan. Let us see who all scholars are there chairing these sessions.
Well, we had all women chairs who gave their valuable inputs to our scholars. And we have with us today Dr. Ruhi Lal Thakur, Associate Professor, Head of Student Support, Amity School of Communication, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Noida. Ma'am, we would like to hear from you. How was your experience with ICAN?
Thank you so much, Manasini, for giving me opportunity to speak on the valedictory function. I am honored to be part of this 5th International Media Conference, ICAN5, on the theme Inclusivity, Convergence, and Alternate Negotiations. It is a great achievement for the organizers to organize 7 days long hybrid international conference And I would like to congratulate Professor Dr. Amrish Saxena, Professor Dr. Shushmita Bala, and Deakin University, Australia, to conduct this international conference. From last 5 years consecutively, the conference is going on. And over the last 7 days, there was deep insights on several issues of media. So ICAN5 is the 5th edition of world's first live international conference. I'm very happy, very excited that I am part of this international conference. So from last 5 years, our faculty members, PhD scholars, and students are presenting papers and participating in international conference. We are enriching ourselves with a rich global experience and knowledge from you. So all this knowledge will be no doubt valuable as we go forward in life. But I think the most important thing that we have learned over the last 5 years is the strong relationship of DME Media School and Amity School of Communication, Noida, to learn together and grow together. Our students, our faculty members, they are continuously, every year they are participating, they are presenting paper, they are learning from you. So we are very, very grateful to you for giving us opportunity to be part of ICAN every year. So this year also, ICAN, it deliberated on various important issues. They provided a platform to the researchers, academicians, and students to present their research paper in various technical sessions and get involved in the academic discourse and exchange through plenary sessions, panel discussions, master classes, and workshops. So the conference provided us a platform for the interaction of people with various academics, experts from the academics and industry experts, and leading to innovation and sharing of new thought for the betterment of mankind. So this conference also deliberated very lively sessions. Various experts shared their views and discussed various issues, various important issues related to media, and brought together various academic minds across the world. So this session was very, very helpful for all of us. We all have learned a lot through this conference. So I would like to give thanks, heartfelt thanks, gratitude to you for inviting us to be part of this international conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You have given a lot of input to our scholars and they have actually learned so many things from you. Next in line is Dr. Pooja Mahesh, Associate Professor, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Dubai. She was an international person who joined us online. Ma'am, over to you.
First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Amrish sir, for inviting me for chairing the session. Thanks to Dr. Pooja Sikka and Dr. Ritika for constantly coordinating. It was nice sharing the session with Dr. Bala there. And also it was nice, the scholars, the thoughts that shared, the topics they had chosen on advertising and branding. It was really an interactive session full of liveliness, energy, new thoughts. So I would like to congratulate DME and the whole organizing team for this marathon sessions that they have organized. It's a humongous task. And I would also like to congratulate the technical team in person because I mean, I quickly got all the videos, the links for the sessions within 2 hours, 3 hours after the session was over. So, I mean, sir, the hard work that the whole team has put in, it is commendable. And undoubtedly, on a Sunday, when my session was there, I could see around, I guess, 70 or 80 students were there online. That is like, I mean, hats off to the audience there, because I think no event can be considered successful without the audience. And today also I can see for the valedictory, the audience in the studio and on the online. So I think the credit definitely goes to the leadership. for getting the students, and the students are so engaged and involved. I think DME has achieved newer heights, and it will achieve newer heights with the leadership and the students and the faculty out there. Congratulations. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. And you are right. Our students and faculty members are working day and night for last 1 month. And before that, the planning started almost 3 months back. I would also like to invite Florence Handik-Rabha, Head Electronic Media and Anchoring, Royal School of Communication and Media, the Assam Royal Global University, Assam. She was one of the technical session chair. Ma'am.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. My heartiest congratulations to the entire team of ICAN5 for having successfully completed the 7-day hybrid international conference on inclusivity, convergence, and alternative negotiations. Well, it is definitely a very happy moment for all of us. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Ambrish Saxena for making me a part of this prestigious international conference, and Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari for, constantly staying in touch with me regarding the technical session. And it was it was so pleasant meeting Dr. Sushmita Bala too in the session online. Well, I had a great time chairing the technical session on the implications of OTT content, binge watching, and censorship issues. And in the session, it was wonderful to listen to all the presentations by all the young researchers, and I thoroughly enjoyed the entire teaching and learning process. It was quite enriching. For me, it was a matter of, it is a matter of immense pride to chair the session, as all the 10 technical sessions were chaired by all women scholars from India, Pakistan, and USA. And I felt privileged to be one of the women scholars chosen by ICAN5. I'm sure all the workshops, plenary sessions, and panel discussions, including the masterclasses during the last 7 days, must have been very informative and educative too. And I wish all the very best to Team ICAN5, esteemed professors and bright students, and would definitely look forward to meeting all again in the near future. And on behalf of Royal School of Communications and Media, the Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati, Assam, wishing everyone associated with ICAN5 a very happy and successful life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And even your students from Assam joined technical session, which was really welcoming and encouraging. So next we have Dr. Punita Dorairajan, Head of Postgraduate Department of Communication, Women's Christian College. Ma'am, over to you.
Good evening. Firstly, you're all doing a very wonderful job. And it's indeed my pleasure to be a part of this marathon hybrid international conference, ICAN5. The entire team of DME, under the leadership of Dr. Saxena, put up a fabulous show. It was really wonderful. It went on seamlessly. I joined a few sessions and listened to a lot of paper presentations, and also Dr. Chowdhury's masterclass. And it was a wonderful experience, to be honest. And today, the last session, which I chaired, and I'm also told that all the 10 technical sessions were chaired by women. Kudos, DME, you can give a thumbs up. And this morning when I was chairing a session titled Cultural Diversity, Communal Harmony and Assimilation Through Art and Music. Again, all the paper presentations were by young women. I was really happy. I didn't expect that. I was really happy. And the papers ranged from fake news to media reporting during religious conflicts to everything. I mean, so many different topics they have thought of. It was a wide range. And I really enjoyed listening to them. And also the 7 day, I know as an academician, as someone who's organized many conferences and seminars, it's not an easy job, especially with hybrid. I know you have to go online and offline. I know it's really very difficult, and you all really put up a good show. And I'm very happy that you wanted me to be a part of this. Thank you, Dr. Saxena, for inviting me, and thank you all, Sumedha, and all of them who hosted the sessions and everybody. And All the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. In the meanwhile, before I call next technical session chairs, I want to invite a very special person, Dr. Manaswini M. Yogi, professor and former OSD, Delhi School of Journalism, Delhi University. Dr. Yogi has been a great support. She has attended most of the sessions and contributed by giving her insights and posing amazing questions. I request ma'am to share a few words with us.
Thank you, Manasvi. All the time I was attending the conference from 1st July, whenever people called you, I thought I was being called because my name Manaswini and you are Manasvi. So, and sometimes, unconsciously I even said yes, though my mic was mute. Anyway, thank you, Manasvi, and I thank Professor Ambrish Saxena, Dr. Sushmita Bala for inviting me to this valedictory function to share my experience about ICAN5. I have been associated with ICAN also, I think, from the first ICAN 1 in many ways. Once I was a chairperson, once I presented a paper myself. So it has been a really enriching experience all the time when I attend this conference. I think DME is the leading institution in Delhi, at least I know, which is, organizing such conferences of long time, because to keep the interest of the students to attend the conference for so long, 7 days, so many sessions is really difficult task in one way because students get, sometimes bored also. So it was a wonderful conference even this time. I attended most of the sessions, and the sessions which I really enjoyed the most was one by Professor Jyotika Rama Prasad on indigenous people. Second, which I enjoyed, was Understanding the Rainbow, which was a very, very interesting session. And then some of the other master classes I attended all. And also I enjoyed, listening to Professor Wajiha Rijvi about the women as children, female child education in Pakistan. The films, the documentary films discussion. Though I could not see the film because I understood that the link was shared with the students. I would request Manasvi or Professor Saxena kindly share the link with us also so that I can at least watch the film after listening to the discussion that day. So thank you so much. You have been doing a wonderful job. And one thing I just want to say, Understanding the Rainbow, I attended the session as well as I heard the plenary session of Abhishek Tyagi, I think, which happened, I think, physically in DME. And I hope that DME will open its doors for such people to join the mainstream teaching of or learning of journalism at your institute. Because in Delhi University, from where I come, I only see the till the date, the concept of including this transgender people is only limited to she, his, oblique others, male, female, oblique others. Beyond that, no other step, I think, has been taken to, really include them so that they come, with confidence to colleges. So I hope DME will give them space, and people like Zen, I really was touched by hearing his experience, and also Abhishek, the Lalit group, is really doing a wonderful job. So I hope DME will take this forward, and there'll be more people like that studying at DME and learning journalism. I hope that. Thank you so much for inviting me on this valedictory function, and congratulations to one and all, the management, Professor Ambrish Saxena, Professor Sushmita Bala, Manasvi, Manpreet, and many others whose name I don't remember at present, and the students, of course, who have put in so much effort to bring this ICAN5 together. It's a real job. It's a real job, and doing it so successfully without much snags. So thank you so much and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We are pleased by the graceful presence of Mr. Aman Sahani, Vice Chairman, Delhi Metropolitan Education and patron of ICAN5, who has been a pillar of strength and support to the institution and to ICAN5, a dynamic, creative and innovative leader. Requesting Aman sir to address the gathering.
Thank you. It's been a marathon event, ICAN5, and I'd like to congratulate everybody who's taken part in it for its success. I'd like to thank all the people who've contributed to it, all the partners, everyone who's helped us put it together. I hope it's been a good, rewarding experience for everybody, and I'd like to wish everybody the best of luck for the future as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Before we move ahead with the cultural program, we have been joined by Professor Ujjwal K. Chaudhary. I would like to introduce everyone to Professor Ujjwal K. Chaudhary. Sir has been a long-standing partner with Delhi Metropolitan Education. He has been also with us during our inaugural ceremony, and now he has joined also for our valedictory. And he is the conference co-chair, advisor, and professor at Daffodil International University, Dhaka. Professor Ujjwal K. Chaudhary is the former Pro-Vice Chancellor and the former Dean of School of Media Communication and Fashion, Adamas University, Kolkata. He is also the Secretary of GMEC, Global Media and Education Council. Over to you now, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry that I could not join at the right time. I was caught up in a very bad jam in the Dhaka city. Today being 2 days ahead of Eid, there is a huge jam because people are moving out of Dhaka city. Almost 2 crores people stay here. So large part of them are moving out to go to the rural countryside the way we do often during Durga Puja, Holi or Diwali. We go to our countryside or homes which are there in the villages. People are doing so. There was a huge jam. I couldn't join in time, but I was watching the last dance performance. I think that is also from Bangladesh. I think it was a dance by the Green University. My friend Shafiul is the dean there. So I was enjoying the dance for the last few minutes before I could speak. I would not take much time because for the last 7 days, you have been listening. So many people, so many things. So I would not get into a long speech. I'll just say that this is a very right time when this program focused on alternative negotiations, convergence, and the other one you said, alternative negotiations, convergence, and inclusion, social inclusion. Yes. So this being the theme, this is a very, very right time when there is an attempt all over the world in several countries, including our own country, of having one religion, one God, one leader, one party, one thought, everything becoming very homogeneous. Now, in some countries, they have already done it, like in some communist countries, some Islamic countries, they have already done that. And now attempt is in our country also to make it, completely singular. So one government, one leader, one party, one thought, one religion, one approach, which is completely contrary or in a way against the concept of social inclusion, alternative negotiations. So convergence is about diversity. There is a technical convergence of online, offline, on ground, on air, and on mobile media coming together. That is one convergence, technical platform convergence. There is a thought convergence. So I may have a certain different type of thought, you may have a certain different type of thought. Still, we can share ideas and coexist. That is the beauty of India. I would not take your time anymore. I would only appeal in your personal lives, please uphold inclusion. Make friends among people who are exactly not like you. That will make you a better human being. Go and celebrate Eid in the next 2 days, the way you celebrate Holi, the way you celebrate Diwali, and go and know your friends from tribal society, from slums, from Dalit families, from Muslim families, from Christian families. Celebrate Guru Parab with the Sikhs. That is the beauty of India. India is not about one form of thinking. India is diverse, and that is why our constitution is great. Still, in spite of so much of diversity, we could have stayed together as a country because of this constitution. Preserve this constitution. The people in media has a great right, great duty to utilize their right to information and preserve this constitution. With best wishes to everyone in DMA Academy and saluting your efforts over the last 5 years that you have been celebrating, that you have been organizing one of the best intellectual exercises in media and communication in South Asia, which is ICAN. And this is the 5th version. And so many countries this time. I'm so happy. I'm just now sitting in Dhaka. There are 2 universities from Dhaka who are associated with you. What a beautiful thing. There is a university and a scholar from Pakistan who is associated with you. What a beautiful thing. And there are people from other countries also who have spoken here. That's the beauty. I have seen speakers from Sikkim, from Kashmir to Kerala to Coimbatore. I have seen speakers from Gujarat to Assam in this program. What a beautiful thing. That is what the spirit should be. And I salute Professor Dr. Ambrish Saxena, Professor Dr. Shushmita Bala, Dr. Manpreet Kaur, Dr. Manuswi Maheshwari, my good friends Sumantra, and many others, Pandeyji and many others there who have made this possible, along with the hundreds of students who are studying there. Now, I salute everyone and thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. I apologize once again for being delayed in this valedictory session. Namaste.
Thank you so much, sir, from whole DME family and ICAN team. Despite your busy schedule, you took out time for us. And like always, you raise issues, give us so much insight and tickle our brain in a new direction. Thank you so much. We are just joined by Dr. Jatin Srivastava, Associate Professor and Director of Institute of International Journalism at E.W. Scripps School of Journalism, Ohio University. His recent research is rooted in theory-based exploration of new media environment, and his teaching experience ranges from graduate seminars in mass communication theory and research methods to undergraduate courses on graphic design and media literacy. He is the Executive Chair of ICAN5. Sir, we are happy to have you. Over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Maheshwari, and thank you very much, Dr. Saxena and all the other guests for being here and for having me here. It's always a great pleasure to be at ICAN. I would like to talk a bit about research and evolution of research, because I remember that in some of the discussions I had during ICAN, someone asked me, what can we do to create a research culture, for Indian scholars in India or in Indian academia? And I've been thinking about it, right? When you look at Indian environments, they come with, with their own characteristics, right? We are still evolving, or we are still taking this journey from a completely or a mostly professional field to a more balanced state where you have 2 streams or, 2 kind of activities or 2 dimensions, research and professional training and professional activity taking place at the same time. And in this journey, I think as research grows, it's very important to understand that it's good research, right? It's rigorous research, it's logical research. And then it will have a value. Value of research for society is also a very important thing, right? When you think about, let's say, when you think about engineering research or technology research, you say, all right, so, a research gave us a rocket or a car, or we could do this, or it gave us a new vaccine. Social science research doesn't exactly do those things. It may not necessarily lead you to building things. Then how can social science research or humanities research have value? Why should it even matter? And there is a very, a very strong, I think, I would say, lack of understanding of how social science or humanities research contributes to society. Okay. Now, when I think about it, so one thing that it does, it makes society look at itself, right? So essentially, and it makes you look at, or it brings out things which are otherwise self-evident, but people just don't notice them. Ideas about value of equality, ideas about values of inclusion and what it means in the context of our society. And that is a very, very important idea, right? Inclusion has become a buzzword around the world, right? In the Western countries and in the Western academia. But if you look at India or if you look at South Asia, it's an entirely different environment. It's an entirely different ecosystem. It is something which is, so think about it. It's, it's 2 times. So India is 2 times the population of Europe. A lot more languages, the depth of diversity. People who are speaking different languages are actually in such big numbers, at least the large languages, that their numbers are bigger than many European countries. Even I would say smaller, sparsely populated countries like Australia. So understand. So we are in a way the fountainhead of diversity in the world. And it's very important to understand. And we have a history, right? It's a history where everyone is going to play a role in figuring out what diversity is. Or when you talk about issues like decolonization, right? What do we mean by decolonization? For different people, it may mean different things. So yes, we may talk about decolonization. So influence of a British maybe. Now some may go even back, influence of Mughals. Some may go even back. So for example, in some of the states, they say, we want to just remove the Aryan influence. Right? So these are very important conversations, and we will have to kind of negotiate our way through them in a way that everyone feels equal. Now, these are the problems which a lot of the West never had, right? A lot of time they said that we have the power. So we have the power, we have built the institutions, and now we decide what the face of inclusion should be. So I think that's a very, very important thing that we have to keep in mind. Alternative negotiations, same kind of ideas, how societies, how communities interact. So India is a country of countries. India is a nation, and we have to be very aware of issues related to the ideas of freedom, the ideas of expression, the ideas of what does it mean to be a democracy? What does it mean to be a perfect media? And to be able to live with imperfections. I'll give you an example, and then I'll call it day. But I think that that living with imperfections is going to be a very important factor, and that is so there's this thing that happened. Someone very close to me once told me that that media is very corrupt, and media shouldn't be given much power. Media has too much power, and it has too much corrupt power. And they gave me an example. And the example was that there was this government officer and he was doing something wrong, and a reporter caught hold of it. And the reporter called the government officer to negotiate a price for not publishing the news. Now, at a bigger level, that's a story that is also going on, right? With one of the very prominent reporters, if I can use that word. Now, in that situation, so they said, all right, so media has this weakness, or there's this example of imperfections, and that imperfection, and that shows that all media is bad. But at the same time, in this equation, there is a government officer, right, who also did something wrong. But you are not looking at the government officer and saying that all government officers are bad, or all people in those departments are bad. So the idea is that our institutions are going to be imperfect. Our societies are going to be imperfect. They will keep on moving. The challenges of inclusion. Today we are talking about religion. Maybe 50 years will be talking about sexuality, level of education. I don't know what, and that is a very important thing to understand. To live with imperfections, but to understand that yes, if there is a car and it might have a tire that is that might not be perfect, but you can't run a car without a tire, right? So our institutions are like that. So and it's very important to have this understanding in a democracy that media is a very important institution in a democracy, and it has a role to play, and that role has to be respected. But for media to have that role to play, it has to be protected. You can't trust the government, you can't trust, a lot of other systems, but most of its power should come from the people, and people should value that idea that media protects democracy. A weak media cannot protect democracy. A democracy that doesn't have a strong opposition, may have problems. So all those things. And a lot of these kind of conversations, can be communicated or can be had more logically through academic research. So academic research is not something that, that people do in ivory towers. A lot of times it is something that is very close to our lives, that is very close to our societies. And someone looks at it and says that, different people look at the situation and they come out with different perceptions, with different impressions. So let us look at it logically. Let us show our work. And when they do that, over a period of time, a body of work is created where people go back to in situations, or people should go back to, or people in a aware and educated democracy should go back to, whenever there is ambiguity, whenever you say, what does this mean? And so we need to have a lot of work on social inclusion and alternative negotiations, whatever issues we are talking about. But it has to be our own work. It has to be research-based work. It has to be true to our needs and our societies. And yes, over a period of time, format awareness, a lot of other kind of expertise will come, and conferences like ICAN make that happen. They bring people together. They become aware of their mistakes. They become aware of major threats of conversations in our society. So, and that's why I really appreciate the work that Dr. Saxena and his team is doing. I also really appreciate the fact that undergraduate students get involved in academic conferences, which is not the case in the West, right? And conferences are produced, so undergraduate students are actually getting some experience out of it, and they are interacting with, scholars. They are seeing what researchers do, and I think it's a good idea for those otherwise isolated, let's say, chambers to interact and at least to know what others do, and and make sense of it. So with that, thank you very much for involving the Institute for International Journalism with ICAN and having me here. It's a great effort. My heartiest congratulations to Dr. Saxena, Dr. Bala, Manmeet, Dr. Maheshwari, and all the students who have been involved with this enterprise. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for adding value to our sessions, highlighting important issues which media scholars should take up in their research. And ICAN is one such initiative that aims to provide platform to media researchers, scholars to discuss and ponder upon such issues of national, global, and social importance. Next in line, we have our technical session chair, Dr. Shahina Ayub Bhatti. She has joined us from Rawalpindi, Pakistan. She's the Dean at Fatima Jinnah Women's University. Ma'am.
It's been a wonderful week of listening to some excellent presentations, particularly the session that I chaired, and I want to convey my compliments for this brilliant conference to Dr. Saxena, Dr. Bala, colleagues from across the border and across the world, in fact, who have been able to present and chair technical sessions. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for academics and professionals like myself, not only in networking, but also in seeing that there are so many different ways in which we can reach out across borders and see what colleagues across the border in other institutions, in other universities and organizations are doing. I salute Dr. Saxena and his team for conducting this wonderful ICAN5 and for giving me the opportunity to chair a technical session. I will not take a lot of time. I'm traveling right now and the connection may go bad anytime. But thank you once again and my compliments to the entire team. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was our pleasure to host you, and thanks to this technology that we got connected and our scholars got benefited from your inputs. Thank you so much. We have another technical session chair today. Ma'am, can we have Dr. Manju? Dr. Manju Ragwani is the head of School of Film and Media, Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University, Pune, Maharashtra, India, and she was also chairing one of the technical sessions. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ambrish Saxena and its wonderful team members. And I mean, over the last 7 days, I was following on social media platforms and the YouTube links. And one thing I learned from this entire 7-day activity was the real-time speed that you are disseminating information. With this, I feel the future of media lies in colleges, media institutes like yours. And second, a big heartiest congratulations to the entire ICAN5 teams. I have been following for the last 5, this is my 5th season I have been following. Initially, I received an email and being part of it, but coming as the technical chair, it's amazing, wonderful experience. Normally, we had men chairing the chair sessions, and this time you had a women chair coming in, and I'm very blessed and lucky to be part of this day. And I really thank the organizers for considering me on this. Fourth, but last message, all I can say, we live in a very different world where we are bombarded with a lot of fake news. We all are that leading to mental health. World Health Organization has also termed mental health as an issue that we all need to be working towards. But all as media of tomorrow professionals, all I say, let's ignite the hope, kindness and optimism in whatever we do, whether we do or we share other people's stories, but all one simple message: be kind, be optimistic, be hopeful. Thank you so much once again, and a big heartiest congratulations to all of you. I will look forward every year, every time, because it's one platform. It was a melting pot of entire discussions which were happening, which we never exchange knowledge. But I think this is something that I will also look forward and in the years to come. Over. Thank you, ma'am, so much.
Thank you. Here, I would like to repeat and give credit to our partners who have actually helped us doing this amazing conference, which is being recognized, acknowledged, appreciated by all the participants, guests, dignitaries. So ICAN was organized with the support of 2 conference partners: International Association of Media and Communication Research, Gender and Communication Section, IAMCR Gen Section, GMEC Global Media Education Council. We had 3 knowledge partners: Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Thanks to Professor K.G. Suresh for this association. Vigyan Prasad, Government of India. I thank Nakul Parashar sir for this. KSF, Keshav Suri Foundation. Yes, this is the organization we have been talking about who help us conduct 2 sessions on LGBTQ. Our international partners: Institute for International Journalism, Ohio University, USA, Green University, Bangladesh, Daffodil International University, Bangladesh. Students and faculty from all these institutions joined us. For IIJ also conducted a session, like sir said, on the research scholars. It was about how you can pursue higher education and research in USA. We had cultural partner coming in from Beacon House National University, Pakistan. Students have sent their entries for their performances, dance and music, which will be playing after this event. Please stay tuned for that. So we have 4 media partners: Amar Ujala, The Policy Times, Jai Hind Times, The Hindi Post. Thank you, team, for covering us, giving us wide coverage online and in print. ICAN5 is powered by Asian Media and Cultural Studies Network Australia. This is an association based in Australia. Australia India Film Practitioners and Researchers Network Australia. SPARC, the Student Council of DME Media School. I would like to mention and acknowledge the efforts of the students of Media School who have worked tirelessly for last so many days in all teams. I would like to mention here that this conference was made possible and successful with the efforts of students. RIM Research Cell of Media School. The conference was supported by NOTO, National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. I really thank all our partners for making us work so hard and actually giving us sessions and resource persons which were out, they were really mind-blowing. Everybody liked these sessions. We really got the very good feedback from everyone.
Now, I would like to call Dr. Manmeet Kaur, Associate Professor, Media School, to give vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shiksha. Coming together is a beginning. Being together is progress. Working together is success. The journey of ICAN has contributed towards creating storehouse of valuable knowledge on the subjects of journalism, mass communication, and mass media. On behalf of DME Media School, I feel privileged to extend my vote of thanks to everyone who have joined us today for the valedictory ceremony. DME Media School is fortunate to collaborate with School of Communication and Creative Arts, Deakin University, Melbourne, Australia. Heartfelt thanks to Dr. Vikrant Kishore. He has advocated the conference by planning, executing, and conducting various sessions from time to time and have definitely benefited the students, participants, and faculty members. We are delighted to receive research papers from scholars all over the world who have contributed in ICAN5. Thanks to the peer review committee members who have put and suggested their valuable inputs and feedback for the authors to achieve better quality in research work. We are also thankful to all the chairpersons of the technical sessions who have also joined us today, and they have shared their feedback for the Media International Conference. Their valuable inputs about the presentations were indeed appreciable and beneficial. Special thanks to our partners, knowledge partners for ICAN5, Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism, Vigyan Prasad, and Keshav Suri Foundation. Our international partners, Institute for International Journalism, Ohio University, USA, and special thanks to Dr. Jatin Srivastav. He has joined us today for the valedictory ceremony. Green University, Bangladesh, and Daffodil International University. We are thankful to Professor Ujjwal Chaudhary, who has spared time and has contributed both in the inaugural as well as in the valedictory function of this ICAN conference. We are also thankful to all our international partners because we have received cultural performances from Green University, Bangladesh, Daffodil International University, Bangladesh, and as well as Beacon House National University, Pakistan. Thank you to our cultural partners as well. We are also thankful to our media partners, Amar Ujala, The Policy Times, Jai Hind Times, and The Hindi Post. We are receiving an overwhelming response from our media partners, and all our media releases, they are now available in various digital and print platforms with the help of our media partners. Thank you so much. ICAN5 is also powered by Asian Media and Cultural Studies Network, Australia. We are thankful. Australia India Film Practitioners and Researchers Networks, SPARC, the Student Council of DME Media School, and Research and Innovation Cell in Media School. We are thankful to all the partners who have supported ICAN5 in all possible ways. We are also thankful to NOTO, National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. They have conducted one special session yesterday evening, and we are very delighted to have their gracious presence in ICAN5. Thank you so much. We have also received various overwhelming response from our international paper presenters in the form of our feedback forms in our various plenary sessions, master classes, workshops, and various other sessions where they all have appreciated our efforts and they have supported us in all possible ways. Thank you, everyone. Sincere thanks to the management of DME, Mr. Aman Sahani, Vice Chairman, Justice Bhavar Singh, Director General, Sir, Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami, Director, Sir, for their support and for their encouragement in every endeavors being taken by DME Media School. Heartfelt thanks to Dean Media School Professor Dr. Amrish Saxena and Head Media School Professor Dr. Susmita Bala for their encouragement, for their motivation, for their support in planning and executing this flagship event of Media School. Heartfelt thanks to all the faculty members from the Media School. Of course, to Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari, Associate Professor and Associate Convener of ICAN5 for overall coordination for the International Media Conference. She was working tirelessly at the front level, and with her support and with her motivation, we are actually able to conduct this 7-day media conference. Thank you, Dr. Manasvi. Thanks to Sumantra Sarthidas, Vishal Sahai, Assistant Professors at DME Media School, Yogesh Sharma, Faculty at Media School, because they are also putting their efforts, painstaking efforts in bringing out all the video production related to the playlist of ICAN5. All the YouTube links are available at the official YouTube channel of DME under the name ICAN5 playlist. Thanks to Pramod Kumar Pandey, Assistant Professor, for his efforts in supporting ICAN5. Shruti V.S., Assistant Professor, Media School, for supporting and convening the cultural team and the students coordination team for ICAN5. Mohammad Kamil and Sukriti Arora, Assistant Professors, for newsletter, press briefings, and media coordination team. All the stories related to ICAN5 has been published in the official newsletter at journalism of the journalism at DME, and we are actually publishing the 2 special issues related to ICAN5. Dr. Ritika Saxena, Assistant Professor for Designing and Creative Support, Saima Parvez and Dr. Sumedha for their support with social media management. I also thank to the admin support from DME, Pavan Saxena, Anmol Mehta, Tulika Arora, CM Anand, Abhishek Yadav, Jagan for all the logistic and administrative support. Student Convener Priya Yadav for her consistent efforts and support in ICAN5. So I also like to mention students' name from the newsletter team: Tirti Mathur, Nikita Taneja, Priya Mishra, Vanshika Bali, Tanishka Tiwari, Swastika Mishra, Drishya Madhur, Anisha Saran, Anjali Pathak, Vaishnavi Nair, Sufia Mirza, Swastika Mishra, Shambhavi Shiri, Diksha Negi, Abhishek Singh, Aditya Goswami, Shivani, Sajal Mishra, Devmani Verma, Vinayak Yadav, Agam Kaur, and Shiksha. They are the students from the newsletter team, and they are actually working tirelessly to bring out various reports for all the sessions related to ICAN, all the technical sessions, all the plenary sessions, and every session which is related to ICAN5, the media conference of DME Media School. Also, I would like to mention the designing team of the students: Krishna Goswami, Soumya Sen, Kartik Kumar, Abhishek Rajput, Akanksha Rawat, Tanishka, Toshita, Sandeep Adhikari, Shambhavi, Dipanshi Pant, Gurveen, Nikhil Gupta. Production team: Kalidas Srinivas, Adhar Sethi, Dev Chaudhary, Mimansa Kakkar, Ananta Gupta, Vishesh Gaur, and Naitik Bhatt. Ambience team: Shagun Chauhan, Nandini Srivastav, Vishal Malik, Yash Joshi, Neha Arora, Swarnima Gupta, Kartike Kaushik, Tanishka, Shreya Rawat, Sandeep Adhikari, Nikhil Gupta. Technical team: Khushi Srivastav, Chandan Kumar, Naitik Bhatt, Mannat, Kashish Ahuja, Adhar Sethi, Shiksha, Jyoti Mishra, Suryanshu Tejaswini, Shruti Sharma, Tulsi Tiwari, Priya Yadav, Sandeep Adhikari. Editing team: Vani Jain, Kartike Kaushik, Man Garg, Jigyasa Khanna, Hani Khurana, Sameer Pandita, Jayaditya Sharma, Ishan Luthra. Hospitality team: Vishakha Ahuja, Shubhi Kumar, Tamanna, Diksha Negi, Tanishk Kapoor, Harshit Chug, Saloni, Rishabh Tiwari. Documentation team: Priya Yadav, Sandeep Adhikari, Sajal Mishra, and social media team: Manak, Ridhima, Shashank. We also have cultural team: MS Diveshri, Ashika Shaw, Shiksha, Akanksha Rawat, Vidushi Saxena, Yash Joshi, Ananya Verma, Vinayak Mishra, Sakshi Mishra, Mihir Singh, Priya Mishra, Naina, Ritika Talukdar, Tanisha Gupta, Sneha Rajput, Aditya Sajan, Suhani Sareen, Shefali, Shubham Kumar Singh, Nitin Gupta, Himani Sharma, Himanshi Rawat, Simran Priyanshi, Nitin, Aryan, Shubham Pandey, Aryan Kutti, Mukul, Navisha Sharma, Milan, Rishita Seth, Shamit Jain, Ayush Sharma, Yugyansh Chopra, Yash Verma, Yash Joshi, Khushi Srivastav. So these all are the students who have actually working tirelessly for the past 3 months to make this flagship event of DME Media School a success. We also have the team of anchors. I also like to mention here because these are actually the backbone of any institute where students, they are actually putting their all painstaking efforts to learn, to experience, and to gain the experience from all these events where the dignitaries, esteemed guests, they are actually taking out various deliberations, carry out various discussions, and they came to know how the things they are actually evolving around in their social structure. So last, I would like to mention here the anchoring team of the students, where we have Sajal and we have just a second, sorry. Priya Yadav, Khushi Srivastav, there are two Khushi Srivastav, Anayaka, Ayush Sharma, Christina, Jaisi Rohi, Ishika, Himakshi Datta, Riya Singh, Nandini, Divyashri, Naisha, Sajal, Shambhavi Shiri, Shashank Kumar, Siksha, Akanksha Rawat, and Khushi Chaudhary. I know my vote of thanks would be little big and lengthy, but I really want to mention the name of the students here because their efforts were also very supportive, and they have actually learned a lot through these during these 7 days of the International Media Conference. With this, I thank you each and everyone. Special thanks to Manaswini M. Yogi ma'am, because she has attended all the sessions of this media conference. Every time when we saw Manaswini ma'am has entered the Zoom meeting, we informed everyone to please make her co-host. Ma'am would like to say something. Definitely she has put her all inputs and feedback for all the sessions. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really very motivating and it was very appreciating on your part कि आप हमेशा हमारे साथ जुड़े रहते हो, हमेशा हमारे सेशंस में आते हो, and हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Thank you so much. Let's have a good memory of ICAN5 valedictory session. We can see Sumantra sir, Vishal sir from the studio. Students, everyone, please switch on your cameras. So with this, thank you everyone. See you soon.